Oh, we live. We live.
And we are officially live.
We live, baby.
Are we live?
Yeah, we live, baby.
Okay.
Hey, is we going from right to left? Top bot, because it look like I'm the first
Well,
bot.
allow me to introduce myself. I'm Big Mike. I'm from Piston Stillers.
Hold on. Not that one. Hold on. Go ahead. You Big Mike.
Pittsburgh, home of the Stillers. You know what I'm saying?
Period.
I'm a father of 4. Yeah, that's it. We in this bitch.
Next one.
I'm Mr. Maybe I'm High.
Maybe I'm high.
I'm a barber. Military veteran. Raised by a single father.
Boom. Straight like that.
I got a wife, 2 daughters, and the HBCUs. And I got a big ass son. He my stepson, but that's my fucking son.
Period. That's why we here.
That's why we here. So, that's about
Drop
it.
bombs on it.
Yo, what's good? Mo Money. Born and raised Pittsburgh, PA. Been living in Atlanta, man, a good 15, 16 years now. Life's good, man. Got biologically 1 daughter, father to many others, but man, let's get into it.
Period. So I'm prototype Cav, husband, father of 4, 2 different situations. So I got perspective on however it go down. Bombs for everybody. So while we here, let's go ahead and load up. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys. So we got to define the parameters, right? So what would we call a good father? What is a good father? Who want to go first?
Shit, you know me.
All right, spark it.
I mean, that's a loaded question because, like you said in the introductions, you got always covered, and I'm sure my situation is different from Mr. Maybe I'm High situation or bro's situation right here. You know what I'm saying? So, but essentially, like genuinely, in my opinion, loving your children under any and all circumstances makes you a good father.
Ooh.
That any and all circumstance, man. That's a lot to unpack right there.
That's a loaded answer.
Yeah, that's a lot to unpack right there. Who got next on it? We're gonna dig into all of it.
No, I'm gonna go ahead. So, because for me, man, it changed, right? So, I mean, I remember initially, coming from my background, actually not having a dad and stuff like that. So, or at least not growing up with one in the house, I thought it meant giving them everything I didn't have, but that's not what it means. Ultimately, it's making sure they have everything that they need to be a good person, and they have everything they need to carry on your last name and carry on your legacy. So it's changed for me. As I've actually become a real father and become, at this point, man, I got a daughter that's 14 years old. So it's changed as I've actually done it versus what, in theory, what I thought it was.
Damn.
What you got for me? Maybe I'm high.
Oh, man. So what is a good father?
What's a good father?
A good father, to me personally, a good father, he has to be there. You can't be a good father if you ain't even there. I don't give a shit how much money you spend or give the woman, or if you're not with her or whatever. A good father has to be there. And if he can't be there physically, he still has to be there, whether it's phone calls. But to me, that's pretty much what a good father is. I mean, I can elaborate on that in many different ways, but
Go ahead.
a good father is technically there.
We here for elaboration.
He's there. Oh, elaboration, there. They got to be able to call you. A good father has to be there, and he has to be able to show whether it's a daughter or a son what a respectable man is. Whether it's for the daughter to be looking for someone to have or to be with or aspire to be what type of man she type want, or it's whether for it's a son or a son to what type of man he should want to be, kind of like, but not actually the same thing. But that involves being there. You have to be there. That's what
Like be a good example.
a good example.
And that goes back to the whole name of the podcast. You ought to be the prototype man for your offspring.
Yes, sir.
So
You're gonna show a daughter one thing, and you're gonna show a son one thing, and you can't really be biased. Like I'm gonna let my son go holler at a whole bunch of little girls and be, hold himself out, and then be like, "Girl, you can't do nothing." Like I'm gonna tell my son, "You can't be a hoe," and I'm gonna tell my daughter, "You can't be a hoe."
Man, I don't know. So
all right, here's where we veer off.
I'm not telling my son.
yeah. Let me get mine out real quick. Let me get mine out right. So for me, a prototype dad is the kind of father who gives their offspring every opportunity to succeed. Right, put them in position to learn what they need to just to be successful here. You know what I mean? So to me, that's what a prototype dad does. At any cost, but I'm not going to say that though. It's not at any cost. It's when the rules, as long as these guidelines are followed, it's conditional. You know what I mean? So being a prototype dad ain't just it's not just giving things leisurely. It's look, you do X, Y, Z, and I'm gonna help you win with anything you need. You know what I mean? So to me, that's what being a prototype dad is about, or being a good dad is just giving your children the best opportunity to succeed. That could come off as toxic though. Some people could be like, oh, these is some people give unnecessary tough love and think that's giving them the best outcome, but I don't agree. So fellas, just jumped in. You got Dex.
No, we're not even there yet. That was your explanation. You don't have to. I mean, that was your. You know what I mean? That's your view on what's a good dad. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to defend it at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're a man, I don't even like at the end of the day, like it's like personally, I think the world wants to change people. And if you got to a certain age in your life, it's not even necessarily about changing anymore. It's just about adapting to what the hell is going on. So like my views and things that I was raised upon and values, they won't change. Even though the world be trying to twist everything up, you got to stand on your own thing and be a man. And however you feel is whatever the prototypical man is who you are, because ain't nobody like you. You got to be your own man. And as long as you ain't a bad person, it doesn't really matter.
It does. I'm gonna let the other guys chime in, but it does matter if you're a bad person or not.
Well, I say if you're not a bad person, if you're a bad person, you ain't a prototypical. You don't even need to be.
So you mean to tell me like a bad person? Let's say a mafia member. He can't be a good dad.
He could. What kind of good dad?
It's different roles.
What kind of good? I don't know.
Hey, hold on for a second too. We got like 3 people chimed in the middle of Kev explaining like, won't y'all come and y'all
so we got
what we got going on over here.
Ron,
fellas.
We got Ron. Say what's up. You want to introduce yourself?
Yo, man. What's up, fellas? I'm Ron. You know what I mean? What's up, Reese?
Mr. Hitboxing, you know what I mean?
And official, you see we got it back here.
You got Hitboxing.
What's up with you, bro?
Oh yeah, what's up? What's up, man?
What up? Yeah, you was up here.
Yeah. We got young Theodore. What's going on? Introduce yourself. Hey,
yes, sir. What you said?
I said, go introduce yourself, share your channel.
Yes, sir. My name is Theo Estes. I'm married to his sister, so that's how we know each other. I'm Kevin's little brother right now. But
You know I'm 5'8" and he's 6'4" though.
yeah,
Little big bro.
Somebody in here with their camera off too.
What's up, everybody? This is Dex. Yes, camera's off. I'm on the desktop right now. No camera on the desktop. But yeah, just here to enjoy the conversation, see what I can add.
Drop bombs on them. Thanks everybody for coming up.
Fellas.
So go ahead. I don't know out of the new additions, the three of you guys, who if you want to say what's your definition of a good father. That's what we're doing right now. Saying our definition of a good father.
So me, you said me?
Yeah, Theo, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Ron.
Yo, I think the definition of a good father, man, yo, that shit is hard to define. Because there's so many different ways, there's so many different situations. It can't cookie cut something like that. It's just not one way. So I don't know if that's something you can define, man. I think you just gotta have certain values and morals in place. And then after that, you make it work within that. So, what I mean? I think the certain values of a father is that you're gonna put the kingdom in front of your needs. You know what I'm saying? Whatever is good for the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Another value would be that, you know what I'm saying, is understanding, man, and patience. Like, I think it's more value based than it is the actual definition.
Man, I had to drop the bomb on it. Put the knees before for the king. I had to drop the bomb on that one, man. That was you got deep real quick.
True. Yeah. I wish there was like little reaction emojis because I'd have gave you the hand clap.
Yeah, it's definitely about the kingdom, man. Kingdom come first.
Period. All right, Theo or Dex, you want to chime in on what a good dad is?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
All right, cool. All right, so for me, definitely keeping God first. We go to church every Sunday. We used to go literally like 4 times a week, but ever since we moved to Mexico, just once a week. It's real hard to understand them because I don't speak Spanish that well, but my wife does. But
a cycle breaker, someone who bad in front of their children and admit that they're wrong. Someone who's really, I won't say lenient as far as morality, because I'm not lenient as far as morality. I can't change my morals off of an opinion of a baby. You know what I mean? But someone who's understanding, compassionate, but at the same time meek, a strong figure, a good role model. So that would be my definition.
Yeah.
All right, Dex, go ahead and get your shot.
Yeah, man. So, I agree with everything what everyone said. I like the kingdom, putting the kingdom first. I was going to say, put the children's needs first before your own, but kingdom sounds better. But I definitely say the one thing I think a lot of fathers, a good father would have is to put some discipline, in the kids too, right? So they need to kind of understand that things can't always just go the way they want it to go. You know what I mean? Like they gotta, sometimes things, you gotta do things just like putting things for the kingdom before yourself, right? Like that takes discipline, right? You can't always get what you want all the time, right? You shouldn't think that you can get all the things you want all the time, and sometimes you gotta make sacrifices for the greater good. So, yeah, as a father, that's a good thing, good value to have and instill in the children.
That's absolutely one of the situations. I can't see you. What'd you say your name was, Dax?
Yeah.
I'd struggle with that. I'd struggle with I would say, and that this actually speaks to what the barber was saying about differentiating between male children and female children, because I have a male son. He's my oldest child. He just turned 13, and I kind of push him, but like I tend to hold the girls back, and I spoil them. You know what I mean? It's evident that I'm much harder on him, you know, talking shit and with discipline, physical or otherwise, than I am with the girls. And I mean, it's you know, it's been hard, you know, because you know they're younger. Well, they're 10, 7, and 2. So, you know, that's definitely one of the areas that I feel like as a father that I lack is discipline.
Hey, you know, I hear that, and Kev will probably tell you that I spoiled my daughter if you ask him. But you know, she definitely understands boundaries. Though there's certain things that I don't, you know, back down on, right? So certain things I let her get away with, and you know that I feel like it's you have your girl, you want to kind of protect her and do certain things for her. So I get that. You know what I mean? I'm also a new father of a son too, right?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they got different assignments. So, but I think we're gonna get into that a little deeper later. But
right, I mean, I pushed my daughter just like I pushed her more like a son than I did a daughter. You know what I mean? Because for a long time, my thinking was a kid is a kid, right? So just push the kid as a kid may go, and then however it come out on the other end. Like we'll get into gender and stuff like that later on when it's important. You know what I mean? And I didn't necessarily feel that was important early in my thinking. I didn't feel it was important until, you know, high school, college. You know what I mean? Like, but it kicks in well before that. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things that you kind of learn as you go. And the fact that we're in such of a weird, non-instructional, like, you know, a lot of us lack the guidance of how to raise or how to do this and how to do that, right? So we're all just kind of living and on the fly, you know, when it comes to being a father and parenting. You know what I mean?
So how many of us grew up in a 2-parent household?
Single parent? How many of us grew up single parent? I would say all of us, except for dads.
See, but here's the thing. So
I'm a single parent dad. It's different.
Right.
No. But were you raised by a mom?
No, he was raised by a dad. He was raised by
a single parent dad. Okay. Yeah.
So for example, so as y'all talking about it, so I was even tricked into believing I was essentially raised by a single mother when that wasn't the case. So obviously I was for a good period, but then actually as I got older, man, I lived with my grandparents and I had a strong man in my house every night. And as I got married, I was essentially unlearning stuff because I had a modern. They tried to live a modern lifestyle, and so when you guys were talking about that, it kind of hit home because I definitely didn't. I wasn't raised by a single mother, like so. That's the part that even like it was so common that everybody was saying it that I kind of almost fell into it, but I really wasn't. True story.
Hey, can I ask the fellas a question?
Absolutely.
Do you think? I mean, I know. I'm pretty sure you guys probably. Do you think it's different being raised in, you know, like 2-parent homes, single mother home, or single father home, or 100%. Raised by grandparents and
100%?
Like all of those are different aspects of being raised.
In every case is different, yeah.
Every case fits out different. You know what I'm saying? A different product, so to say. But it's not really saying like each product you're doomed to whatever the worst.
I'm glad you said that.
You're not doomed to the worst shit. Like, oh, you raised by your grandparents. That means you're gonna commit.
So I'm glad you said that, right? Everything spits out a different product, right? So the next question for real was how do we measure success as a father? You know what I mean? If every product comes out different, like, so as a father, how could we measure, like, yeah, this person goes to the Hall of Fame of dads? How do we get there?
I don't think I'll ever be there.
You could.
I'm gonna be in the good enough. I'm in a good enough fame. I don't want to be HOF. I'm cool.
Shit, I feel like they should probably retire my shit early. Like, I'll be honest with you. You go ahead and raise my shit to the Raptors right now.
But look,
I mean,
but I add a caveat to that. Sometimes your effect might not be just on the people that's in your home, but you can be a father and a father figure. It's two different things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It could be the effect that you have on the people that you meet as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Unload that. Unpack that.
So, you know what I mean? Just like I got the gym, right? And I run into a lot of younger men. You know what I'm saying? And the effect that I have on some of these men is just as powerful as the effect that I have on my own son. You know what I mean? Because there's still a reflection of the teaching that I'm giving them. You know what I'm saying? In life in general. So that'll still go to my stat sheet. We talking about, you know what I'm saying? The things that if we grade in a Hall of Fame career, dog. You know what I mean?
So community outreach, how you affect the community that affects your stats?
Damn sure. Right.
Yeah. I agree.
Is that a yearly thing, or are you the kind of dad that's like teaching the whole community to box, or are you the kind of dad that's putting up the nets at the hoop court? Because that dude is legendary. The dad that puts up the nets at the hoop court, that dude's a legend.
Hey man, that's the Park District where I'm from.
See, that's the thing. Like there's, I don't say no names, but there's one guy that we know of that we can all kind of, most of us can tune in with, that used to put them nets up down at the park.
Word.
Is it? Yo, I
Parks and
think
Recreation ain't do it. I promise you.
Damn.
Yeah, it's like, yo, man, you know, you got opportunity to touch a lot of people, man. Like as fathers, you know, like if you see a young dude doing something wrong, you obligated to stop. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Father, you know what I mean? If you see something that's going on as a man, as a father, you want to stop that shit. You know what I'm saying? Right? You should want to.
Gotcha.
It should affect you from turning your back on something as a man. You know what I mean? So I think as fathers, we great fathers, man. That's important to our children. You know what I mean?
So we're adding that accolade to the good dad quality, right? The one that affects the community in a positive way.
And you know what? You know what's so crazy? Like, since we talking about like a good dad, how he affects other people besides his own kids. It's like with my pops, I was like, out of all my friends, I was the only one that grew up with. I was the only one living with my dad. Everybody else was with their moms. So like, in essence, like all my friends call my dad like pops and shit like that. And like, there's friends like with me and I'm like, Dad, I don't even talk to him no more. But my dad, like, that's still my son. Like, he will still look out for these. And I'm like, I don't talk to him no more. But so like, how you saying like your extension to the community, blah blah blah, like that's definitely that's definitely like points for you to be in the Hall of Fame type father. Because I know when my dad goes and rests in peace and stuff like that, it's too many kids that would be like, hey man, your dad looked out for me like he was my father, or he was, you know what I'm saying? So
it's one thing I want to chime in and just say, but I don't think any of us can judge ourselves as a good or bad father, but it maybe depends on the people that we're affected, right? Like those kids that we are involved with, they're the ones who's going to judge, you know, how good or bad of a father you are.
Hey.
Look, that's perfect. That's what I was gonna say. You don't get no vote for yourself.
You can't, you can't vote for yourself. You can't put yourself in the ballot.
Four bombs, Kevin.
Flex.
There's work to be done, and like you said, that's a good
to my man's point.
No, that's a good check.
Go ahead.
That is crazy. I literally went up to my son earlier today and asked him, like, do you think I'm mean? And he looked at me and was like, no. I feel like I'm mean to the little dude, man. I'm like, TJ, you know, kind of screaming a little bit. But just the fact that he looks at me
and says, no, I don't think you're mean. Like, it meant a lot. You know what I mean? It gave me a perspective on how children actually see us. While we're thinking that we're all bad, you know, they're looking at us like, this is still my dad. I love him, you know? So that's what I don't remember dude's name with the
To
no picture.
piggyback on what you just said, like I clearly remember asking my son the same question, like, you think I'm mean? Like,
yeah.
But he told me, like, Dad, like, I mean, you know, you're a little rough sometimes, but I mean, I kind of need it. And you know what I mean? You'll be listening, you know what I mean? Kev knows, but my he's really hard to deal with. And I mean, like, sometimes I lose my temper, and sometimes, you know what I mean, it's a struggle, you know what I mean, mentally dealing with this guy. But you know what I mean, when he acknowledged the fact that he actually embraces the hard part, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it provided a small sense of relief. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, digging into what Dax just said, like, and you know what I mean, the big picture, like, there's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I hear people say, like, the reason why I said they should retire my jersey early is because I hear people say all the time, oh, you're such a good dad. You know, they see me out with 4 kids by myself. You know what I'm saying? Or, oh my God, like, I've never seen it. You know what I mean? And it is definitely a segue for, you know, yeah, I mean, you know, it's a good perk to carry. And I'm not saying, you know what I mean? I do it because I love them or whatever, but it doesn't work. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, there's definitely, it's not a completed story. Like, things could change. Like, my girls are all young. My youngest is 2, so be 3. My oldest girl is 10. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows what high school and junior high, and you know what I mean? I got 3 phases of this, and I still got a boy, you know what I mean? Just turned 13. So, like, yeah, I mean, but it's like, what does Tomlin say? We don't, you know what I'm saying? We don't
There's a standard.
We don't seek comfort in our past accomplishments. We cannot seek comfort in our past accomplishment.
So that's crazy that you said your son's hard to deal with, because that actually goes into the next question. I did want to. There was something I wanted to chime in on, but I'll probably come back to it because I can't really remember. Oh, you know, I remember a while back. You know, I asked my children. I said, "Hey, what do y'all think about me? You know what I mean? Like, what you tell your friends about me, or like who I am, or whatever, right?" And I really can't wait to hear the perspective, like their synopsis. You know what I mean? Their overall, like, man, this is how I grew up, and I can't wait for them to tell me their childhood story on how they grew up and what they thought about the kind of house I provided for them. You know what I mean? The kind of livelihood they had. You know, I ask my son all the time, like, are you happy, dog? Or, you know what I'm saying? Where you want to be? Like, you know what I'm saying? And, like, all the time. Because I want that feedback now, but I know they're still too young to really give it to me, to give me the answers I'm looking for. You know what I mean? I really want to know now, though, but I just can't wait till they're grown and they put it all together, and then, you know, they start telling stories like, yeah, remember we did this, and this is the kind of childhood I had, and this is the kind of, like, you know what I mean? I just can't wait to hear it all. But I don't know if anybody has something else to say, but, you know, I'm gonna segue into the next question if somebody, you know, got something else to say.
If anybody else want to go before, I have a real problem with that.
Nah, let loose, bro.
Okay, see, this is my problem with that, because my son swear we rich. He swear we rich, and I'm gonna be real honest. I grew up broke as hell with my pops. I ain't even lie, like, shout out to my pops, we fucking made it. But technology, just because he can get an iPhone, play an Xbox, he got a smart TV, he can go on YouTube. It's like they think we got. I don't know. I'm decent, but I ain't whatever. But he really think he's so rich to the point where he really has in his head. There's like they be like at football practice. Like my son is 12 years old. He's 6 foot tall, 65 pounds. He just turned 12. He's a beast. He's big as hell. So when they be the coaches be like, hey, what we got to do to rile him up and charge him up? And I'm just like, there's nothing I can tell him because he's so it's not like he's trying to fight to get away from something because he think it's so good because he got technology. You know what I'm saying? So I think
that's the toothless tiger. That's the toothless tiger analogy.
Right. So I guess I wanted to go into the next point, but what he just brought up, this is something me and you Reese talk about all the time about our kids growing up in this, like now we're middle class. And now they think that we're something different. And now we're dealing with middle class syndrome. Because they never missed a meal. They don't know what that feels like to go to bed hungry. They don't know what it feels like to, you know what I mean, have shoes with no soles on them. They don't know what it feels like to, you know what I mean, that project living. Like
that's a salute to us though.
Right.
yes, it is.
I'm gonna take it a step further.
I just think it just don't make the kids don't work hard.
Hey, hold on. Let me. I put mine in. See, I'm doing all right. I ain't, you know what I'm saying. I ain't care, but I'm all right, right?
I'm all right.
But look, I let my kids know that shit is mine. Ain't there? You know what I'm saying? What you see is me. That ain't you. You gotta go get yours. This is me. This is my accomplishments. You know what I'm saying? I set a standard. Like, yo, when you go, you gonna leave with nothing. You know what I'm saying? This is me. Yeah. So that instills the work ethic, and you know what I'm saying, instills the mindset. Like, yo, you don't have nothing. Yeah. Nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? You start from the bottom. All I'm doing is giving you the tools and showing you the example. You can get it. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, you should get it better than I did. But
so you're right, because I went about it a totally different way. Because I'm good and whatever. And I remember probably like 5th grade. I took for winter break. This wasn't nothing big. For winter break, I took my daughter to Hawaii, and she came back to school, and everybody was like, "Oh, we went to Six Flags. We went, you know what I mean?" And she's like, "I went to Hawaii." People was like, "What?" So it got to the point where she was just like, "Oh, I'm good. I can sit back." And I was like, and to my man's point, it wasn't that you coming out with nothing. This is the bar. You have to pass this. That's the only way you're going to be successful. So this is the bar right here. So with that being said, she was like, okay. So now she clearly says, I want to be a lawyer. I want to be the Supreme Court justice.
Yeah, okay.
And she was like, I don't want to be the president no more because I could only be influential for 8 years. The Supreme Court justice is in there for life. I want to be the chief justice. And I was like, okay. And that's where I figured it out.
Man, we say what you about to dive into for episode 2, my guy. We say we can't give them all. We can't give them all that. You know, we saving that one because you know where I want to go when you said that. I
already know.
So we want to say,
but that's the segue.
Go ahead.
Yeah, quick chime in, but I think this actually goes back to the whole discipline thing, right? So it's like, you know, they see things, they probably just imagine things come easy, right? Because we live in that world right now, that microwave world, right? You want it, you get it, right? But this is where I think the challenge comes as a father to give them that extra push to know that, nah, you got to work for whatever it is, you know, that you want. Like, it's not just going to come easy. You know what I mean? You're not going to get it in 2 minutes. Like, you're going to have to put in work, go through some challenges, go through some failure, come over that, and, you know, keep pushing forward. Like, that's things that they need to, like, really understand fundamentally this generation, because they're lacking it big time.
And that's the secret sauce to that, is showing them the work. Because at first I was just telling them. I was just telling her, and she was like, well, it seemed like, you know, when you come home, you just good, and you do what you want to do when you want to do it. And if you want to buy something, you can. And I was like, okay. So she's not seeing the work. So on the side, I also do real estate. So I start taking her, start showing her stuff. And I was like, okay, she needs a job. So if the family had kids, I'm like, yo, you don't occupy the kids while I'm selling this house. Yep. And I was like, when we get done, there's a payday at the end of it. When I get paid on my commission, you get a piece of it because you helped. And I learned soon as I started doing that, she was like, oh, okay, I have to act in order to get compensated. And that's when everything kind of changed for me and her.
One of the things I heard, someone say once, but it's like, it took me 38 years to become an overnight success, right? So
Right?
like, look at it that way. It took work. It didn't just happen quickly. Yeah.
You know what's so crazy though? In my head, I really feel like when parents are super duper successful, especially, I don't think they kids just freeloading. Like I would much rather have a son that built his own success up. And even though we're supposed to pass stuff down, but like I think I would be more proud of a son or a daughter that built their own thing up and not some shit I passed down to them, like keep this shit straight.
Yep.
I would be more proud of somebody that built something up from their own. And I'm like, damn, I put that in you. I told you get your own, and you did it. Like, wow.
Yeah.
And I would support it, put money into it, whatever. Get it going.
What I told my wife that I want to do if I ever blow up, which I'm hoping to do soon, but I for real. But I'm trying to put all the money in a trust for them kids, and if they are outside of the boundaries of the trust, then they're not getting anything. Because I already see my daughter is definitely spoiled. Like she cried about crazy things. She three meals a day. I was used to one. You know what I'm saying? She be wilding. So we talked about that. I would like to put a trust in place so these kids don't just live off of us. I can't let that happen. I need kids that will have sustainability in their heads. You know what I mean? Sustain their lives, sustain their children's lives. You can't work. You can't take what's mine. Like bro was saying. Like you can't. It's mine. I'll let you have some if you follow these guidelines, though. So
can I ask a question? Does it make me a bad father if I want to leave my kids shit?
I don't think that's wrong with that.
Yes.
Give them stipulations to get shit.
Yes.
And what I was going to say is, you don't have to leave money. You left him with a mindset. You left him with discipline.
Yeah.
So it don't have to be financial.
Yeah.
So when you say you ain't look, I guess he was like, "Oh man, I'm bad."
No, he'll jump back in, but keep speaking to it because he'll hear it. There it is.
But yeah, as far as leaving something, it don't have to be financial. I mean, you left discipline, you left a mindset, you left work ethics and stuff like that. So I think
it's a lot.
So if you didn't leave nothing, like nothing, the only way you would leave nothing is by not being there.
Nothing material.
Hey man, drop a bomb.
Hey, you just said something though, Reese. Mo, you just said something, right? Like not being there, you're leaving nothing. So what happens to?
And actually, that's not true. We're gonna get into that. And actually, that's true because not being there actually pushed me to be greater.
Well, yeah, but even still, so you would say he was left with nothing, right? But what if you get the child support check every month in, month out?
To be honest, I wouldn't even know.
Yo,
because the kid don't need money.
I'm not finna really roll this weed if I was girl the phone.
Yeah, the kid. As a kid, I didn't need money. I didn't even know I was poor until I went to college.
I almost did it.
Go ahead, roll it, Mike. What you got, Mike?
No, to what he was saying. As far as like being there and leaving, like the only way that you can be a bad dad is if you stop trying. If you give up.
Wow.
Got bombs on that, moderator.
We all gonna make mistakes, and all of our paths are different. All of our paths are different. We all gonna make mistakes. We're not perfect, and like Kev said at the beginning, like most of us didn't have a blueprint for this. You know what I'm saying? We're learning as we go. We're getting better. We're gaining information. We're gaining experience, and we're trying more, and we're trying harder, and we're not giving up. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, if you give up, then you're a failure, and that's
so. Would have given up. Would have given up is part of your own mental health, your own sanity. What if they're gone?
How you gonna give up your kids for the help of your mental sanity?
Wait,
You
But
are-
listen, at the end of the day, no.
he
That's
on to something.
a relevant
We
point.
can talk
on to
about it.
something.
Yeah, let's get into it.
That's a
He
relevant
on to
point. And at the end of the day, if you give up that part for the sake of yourself, then
Go give
fatherhood
up
is
something.
extracted from the
Y'all niggas,
equation.
Don't give up the kids
So
to be sane.
for me, check this out. My dad has about 20 kids, something like that. We don't know exactly how many, but he got like 20.
Look, he's the DC sniper. Huh?
Hey,
But
he ain't have a TV.
Boom, 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 boom.
straight down, exactly. No
Hey,
pull out. He's
last-
wild. Like, but he had a lot of kids, right? So the ones that he did actually raise, the ones he actually did raise, told me that it's probably better that he wasn't there for me because of the shit that he put them through. Like my dad hitting niggas with bats, hitting people with bottles, beating the crap out of them, breaking bones. To the point, my big brother, he rest in peace. He was doing this. He was repeating the stuff that he saw my dad doing to his mom and to him. So he's beating on my nephews, and he broke his baby mom's arm. You know what I mean? Like going through all of that. You know what I mean?
There's a difference.
Yeah.
Like to bro's point right here. There's a difference in being gone and like working and providing, because at the end of the day, when your kids are adults, they're going to look back and they're going to look at you like they're going to look at their lives and they're going to look at you like, well, damn, dad was chasing his dreams.
Yeah.
We never missed a meal. We provided for. We had all the nice things. I'm looking around at my peers and they don't have what I have, even though dad is gone and I miss him. We got 2 cars. My mom got a car, and we're going to camps, and we're on team.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing sports, and we're eating, and we're getting birthday parties and shit. And they don't have that. So, but if you're drunk at a bar, you know what I'm saying, and running around and shit, and you're unsuccessful, and they're going to know that too. They're going to start asking questions like, well, damn, why can't dad do this? Why don't we have that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
in that point, or in that place,
being
it
gone.
would be better for him not to even be there.
Yeah.
So by him not being there, in that case, he would be giving you a better life because he ain't shit. You know what I mean? So
I had a question. So yeah, I had my dad in my life, and I feel like he was a good father and everything. But I'm just wondering if there is that father that has all these issues, right? What if he took a break to work on himself to try to be a better father and then came back?
that's
According
good.
to the panel, he didn't give up.
That's good.
According to the panel, he came back. He didn't give up.
I got a good story for that right
You didn't
there.
give up. Yeah, listen,
That's
I'm in
real
that. I'm in that phase right now. That's where I'm at right now.
Hey, isn't that the same as if the father went to
Good
jail?
stuff.
So if the father went to jail and came back, does it make him an absent father?
Yes.
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 Huh? But what,
Yes.
what if he came back a better person?
Hey, everybody that usually go to jail did the crime.
Hell, all right.
I ain't freeing nobody.
This ain't the panel for that.
Did it?
No.
Hey, man,
Niggas
look,
be
bro.
snitching.
Hey, they can find whatever. They can find whatever.
Telling and making.
Hey, look, bro. I'm from Chicago suburb.
I see
How
it.
people get down? They did it. See,
No.
yeah, bro.
Here's the interesting thing, right? I know somebody that went to jail,
So they
right?
fucked up. Excuse my who they
I
messed up.
went to jail, and I was talking to their father about it, and their father was like, "Yo, he should have been at home with his babies. Why wasn't he at home with his kids instead of running the streets? He should have been at home." So, if you go to jail, you're an absent father.
Look, unless you got
I don't agree.
set up or
That's fair.
something.
That's fair.
Come on, man. They did
That's
it.
fair.
Y'all know that. Y'all know it, bro.
We not here to
I mean,
support the
I'll say the only way it doesn't matter if he was a Black
Outlaw
Panther.
can't
And
be
we'll
a
accept
good
that.
Y'all gonna sit here and act like y'all don't know all
The
your
outlaw
homeboys.
can't be a good dad though.
They did it.
Yo,
What do that got to
Oh,
do
man,
with
I-
relevance?
yeah, I'm not about to let you. I'm not about to let. Okay, I'm not about to
I
let
ain't
y'all
free
do that.
nobody that. I'm not saying free nobody that did something. If you
Look,
fucking
that's all
did
fine
it,
and well.
you
Look,
did it.
you could be a criminal and still be a good dad.
You. That's
Do tell.
You can.
How?
You can.
Spit it out.
That's
So
what we trying to we
I
leaning
don't
back
know
into
that how
it.
far. That's like a 15. That's like a less than 5% rate. But
I think
But-
if you're
but-
a
but
criminal,
here's- but here's
you're
what I
not putting
know.
that kingdom first, man.
But
If you're a
here's what I
criminal,
know,
you're not
right?
putting the kingdom first.
So
True.
Dax,
right. So
Dax, get the fucking camera together, bro.
All right, I'm gonna go get the laptop.
Get the laptop. Lock
Bro,
hey, yeah, 'cause I'm tired of looking
What you
at that little
saying, bro?
circle with the
look,
that
so
circle
for
with the
example,
person body.
so I know somebody that they was a straight animal in the streets or whatever, but in their mind they did what they had to do to provide for their family. When they came home, it was none of that, and like they was out in the streets or whatever. So whatever. But what was happening is once they got sat down and they went to the feds, they actually was seeing their kid more than when they was actually free, and they was giving them wisdom and they was giving them stuff.
Damn,
that
so you said they were seeing the kid more when they was locked
Yes,
up?
yes, because they were stable, they were locked up. So the mom was bringing them to see them, and they was giving them, "Hey, don't be like me, stay in school, blah blah blah." Whereas when they was back home, all they heard was, "Yo, your dad's a bad boy. That's a bad boy right there."
Hey, you know what's so craziest thing about people that be saying stuff like "Don't be like me, stay in school." Most of these motherfuckers be shining like a motherfucker to these little boys. Boy, they be fresh as hell, the nicest car, 5 little bras running around, all the girls, everybody love them. They be like, "Hey, little homie, don't be like me, go to school."
Right, so that's that whole "do as I say, not as I do" type thing. But
Yep.
it's the visual, and that's what I was talking about. With kids, don't necessarily need the money; they need the guidance. They need the love. So all about, oh well, my dad always, he always got me in the newest Jordans or whatever, because he did. He always sent bread, and he had a lot of kids. He was always, all of them was always laced out, but they got more love and they got more father time actually when he was locked up.
Yo, that's crazy. And this is why I wanted to bring us all together, right? This is to hear these different perspectives, and none of us said money. None of us said it. You know what I mean? Like, provide diapers. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like it's a part of it. None of us said it. Say that again.
Because it has like you can't do. That's the bare minimum. Like you have to provide. So that's why we don't say it, because it's understood.
But you know, at the end of the
you got a select panel of, you know what I mean, motherfuckers that's already there. Like,
I ain't even
money,
boy.
like, that's we understand it. What you said Tomlin say. I'm gonna keep going to the book of Tomlin, and all y'all, we could all say it together. The standard is the standard. Period. That's why money wasn't mentioned. Like, what?
Well,
But another thing though with money though, honestly, can anybody recall what they got for Christmas when they was like 15 or they like you can't really recall all the monetary you got. Just certain things. But you remember how you felt.
I can.
15? Nothing.
But you remember how you felt, you know what I'm saying, when you were growing up. You know what I'm saying? You remember how, you know what I'm saying, how what you was taught and the things, you know what I'm saying, the time that was spent with you. All that monetary shit don't mean nothing.
I mean, because Christmas was just about us being together.
Yeah, family.
Yeah.
Shit, I ain't never had a Christmas.
Way before 15, I was getting nothing. And I was never getting what I wanted. So I burned some shit into me as a child that I would never allow my children to experience what I experienced. I would never allow my children to feel the hunger pains or to not have a furnace.
I
put the oven on.
I actually wish my kids
do that.
experienced
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I struggle with discipline now, because I was a have-not. You know what I'm saying?
wish my kids experienced that shit. My kids think I'm rich.
They
They
think
think
I'm
I'm
rich, but they
rich.
know. Like I slap them in the face with reality every now and
Bro,
then. But I don't
they
build.
think
I
I'm
never built the
rich.
foundation. I never built the foundation of the
I had to
discipline.
go
I never
get.
built the foundation of what Hit was talking about and what Dax is saying of that you have to work and you have nothing. I always let them know that there's somebody to begin with, and I reinforce that with everything, like whatever I could do, however I could get it, legal or you know what I mean. I push a diamond saw across the highway for 12 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? I frack,
And I,
you know what I mean, beat pipes in
perfect.
the
I
middle
seen.
of
I
winter and
seen.
shit. I
I
done
seen
anything
that. I've seen
to
that
make
type
sure
of
the free
hustle.
picnic was legit. Like
I've seen that type of hustle growing up with my father. Like he was doing everything to make sure like shit was straight, and shit still wasn't straight. You know what I'm saying? Like
it never will be
it
unless
was
you're like
never straight,
man,
my
like what
friend.
Kev said as far
But
as
I
men
never
go.
I never saw my dad stop trying. It was crazy. Like all my friends with their single moms, they get food stamps. Y'all gotta understand the difference when you're going over with a single father and you're going over with a single mother. They getting food stamps, Section 8, all kind of shit. They ain't really rent. Like it's totally different.
Men can get that stuff too.
We didn't get none of those
No,
benefits.
to be clear, men can get that stuff too. We just don't seek that kind of. We don't seek
I
it.
don't even know if my dad could get it. I don't even.
I mean, I'm telling you, we could, but we don't even because we don't complain. We just deal with it, right? So because
my
we
dad just dealt with it.
yeah, we just deal with it, and we're not complaining, and we're not seeking for. But we can all get that stuff too. If we were in it.
Back in the day, they might have had some weird rules
that.
about it. Yeah, back in the day, like I don't think men was, especially
I don't
black
know
men.
too many brothers that was getting like I'm. What year y'all was born? I was born 1980. I'm 42 years old. I don't.
We all in the same range. Nah.
Ain't nobody getting no. Ain't no man's getting Section 8 in 1988.
Back then,
Look, I know in college we was food stamping it up, so I'm pretty sure.
It's a miracle worker.
I'm pretty sure that we, single. Or no, I went through a single father stint, and in my single father stint, I got some like daycare assistants and that kind of stuff too. So we can get it if we apply ourselves to it.
I know it's out there, but I grew up with it. My dad was just
That's a lie. You can't get that.
trying to be like.
Well, I would give him $550 a month. If you willing to put on the apron and go down there, you can get it. Nah, you can't get that. What, nigga?
So we got another guest that ain't on camera.
Yeah. He was arguing the point. Look, I'm gonna tell you straight up. I got shot and I couldn't get no job, nothing. And they took me down there. Them niggas are down me for everything, even health insurance. Man, so I don't know about the benefits, dog. I don't know about that, yo.
Like I'm just saying, like I don't think single. Because at the end of the day, the way the world going, they actually promote a single woman parenting type shit.
They do.
They promote it, and like I made that post on my status on my Facebook joint, but at the end of the day, all I see is all these women saying, I raised a kid on my own, but at the end of the day, the more y'all keep doing that, y'all gonna fuck
I'm gonna say this though. I don't want to bash no women on this. You know what I mean? I just want to talk about us and what we go through. We're gonna lead the women to what they do because there's enough of that out there. You know what I'm saying? So however they get it to live, that's how they get it. But we just want to keep it on what we're doing.
Okay. But we gotta make sure we ain't leaving these women out here to be raising these kids by themselves. Because when you let them do that,
oh, I can't wait till episode 2. I got some topics for the next episode.
We can't keep doing that because at the end of the day, like we can't shoot up the club and not care about the bodies.
Hey, to be continued on that for sure. But I only plan for about for us to sit down for about an hour. You know what I mean? We got a couple minutes left, so I'm gonna leave y'all. I'm gonna go through with this one last question, right? This one last question.
Yo.
We just went through all this stuff about being a father, how hard it is, what we go through, XYZ, right? Is being a father worth it? Everybody take their turn.
To be continued.
Is being a father worth? That's the closeout. That's the closeout question.
To be continued.
Hey, I answer right now. Hold on.
Well, yeah, if you don't want
Right
to
now,
get
yeah,
into
right now for sure.
I mean, just say yes or no, right? Like, what you do to get it?
Start off
And
with
Dex know where I'm going with this because we had a discussion about this at his dinner table.
I think being a father is one of the greatest things that I was able to achieve. I think that's a great thing. Because it's not even, like you said, like the guy said earlier, it's not necessarily about being a father just to my kids. It's just about being a father figure to a lot of other kids. So yes, being a father is a yes. That's what I got.
My turn. My turn. Yeah.
Go for it.
Back over there.
Is being a father worth it?
Hell yeah.
To this point?
Hell yeah. So that check start coming.
Yes. Being a boyfriend or whatever, a husband, or you know what I'm saying, baby, that didn't get me to this point. Like the way that my children look at me, the feeling that I get when they hug me, when they're, you know what I'm saying, when they're calling for me, when they, you know what I mean, when I see them on FaceTime, like what? Like I've never experienced that until I've experienced being a father. And I couldn't replace that with anything else. Maybe if I, you know what I mean, if I do, I don't know if I don't know where you guys are with it, but if I do fall in love, or you know what I'm saying, if I marry, maybe that might rival it. But right now, like the fuel that burns, that I use to burn, you know what I mean, if I don't have for too long, I can't function properly, and that's the love of my children. You know what I'm saying? I can't live without them. I can't really. I go in reduce mode. You know what I'm saying? If I don't got that, you know what I mean?
Figure, fam.
Drop bombs for both of y'all. Who want to go next?
I'll jump in, man.
Let me jump in. I'll jump in.
Right, go ahead.
Hey, is being a father worth it? Honestly, man, I think being a father is our purpose. And if you're not being a father, you're not living your purpose, man. I think overall, that's what we're here for. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be fruitful, multiply, raise them, and kick it off for the next generation, man. You know what I mean? We're supposed to be generation setters. So I think being a father is what we're supposed to do. If we're not a father, what are we? What are we here for? You know what I mean?
Right in the middle.
Yeah, I'll jump in, man. But I completely agree with what you just said. You know, we're born, right? We go through life, but there's certain things that, you know, you just take you to the next level, right? Like you could live your life single, whatever, like, you know, go about your business, buy things, enjoy that. But becoming a father takes you to that next level of existence in, you know, in this world, right? And like you said, man, it's about legacy. You know what I mean? It's that fulfilling that purpose, taking things, you know, forward for the next generation. Completely agree with what he said.
Go ahead, my favorite crumber.
Yeah. Being a father is definitely worth it. It not only shows me where I am in that arena, but it shows me who I am as a person. It allowed me to examine myself and really shine a light on my anger, my narcissism, and all the other traumas. Not just looking for ways to parent better, but ways to be better. So for me, everything just goes full circle. So it's definitely a yes. Yes.
All right, my turn. So in isolation, just being a father absolutely is worth it. However, I think some of the stuff that comes with it, I think it's overrated. You know, I think at the end of the day, you know, if you do it right and you know it's the way it was meant to be, yeah, it's worth it. But I think sometimes if you veer away from it and you go away from some of your morals and you're having to co-parent stuff like that, sometimes I question it, man. Sometimes I think, man, it's overrated. But you know, that might be something, you know, we might have to deep dive into that maybe, you know, kind of in the next one, because yeah, this will get deep though.
Absolutely. Well, no, give him 3.
Oh man,
because we can get into that because
hey, let's save it. Yeah, we'll deep dive. You know what I mean? We can't give them all. We can't give them all the goods.
There's shit on the table.
Man, I guess I'll end it right. So
there's meat on the bone.
More than enough. Is being a father worth it?
Man,
hell yeah! Come on, tell them.
I don't know, bro. If I could do it all over again, I would, and I'll say that. If I could like hit the reset button on this thing, I definitely would. But I've experienced some different things. You know, it's hard, and I guess when it's hard, and I'm not saying it's hard to be like, oh, you're afraid. I'm afraid of work. It's like I know some families that like are straight and narrow, right? Like father's a state trooper and mom's a doctor. Kids still end up selling drugs and getting on the pole. Like the what? You know what I'm saying? So it comes with so much, man. And you know, I know so many parents that had to bury their kids. You know, and I just there's just a lot of traumas that comes with, you know what I mean, being a father that you could just necessarily avoid and just go live life and enjoy it and travel and see everything and just do what you want. Like, you know what I mean? You don't got to worry about what's on the TV, or you don't got to worry about who's trying to molest your kid. You know what I mean? Your kid's being raped, and like, that's scary. You know what I mean? I get Amber Alerts every day. So thinking about my kid being like going to the park, going to the playground, it's straight alert. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who's around, what's doing this to my, you know what I mean? Or let them spend the night over somebody's crib and they coming back with the, oh, cousin Johnny touched me. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's just so much, there's so many things you got to deal with, you know, and what if you put in a bunch of work and there's just a lot to unfold on it. So if I could go without the stress of parenting, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some great things that I, you know, about it. You know, like Big Mike said, you know, the way they love you, the smiles and the hugs, and they treat you like a jungle gym, and it's just the love is unmatched. I can't lie, but
yeah, that's the only unconditional love you're gonna have. So that's what makes it worth it. But we
jumping into something. God's love is. No, we can get into that, man. To be continued on that.
You can't protect them like that, bro. We can't protect them like that. You gotta prepare them.
Yeah, but
protect them. It's not prepare them. Let them go through it.
No, hell.
Hear what you're saying, though? Like, let them go through what exactly?
Life. Life. Everything that you went through made you everything you are. But you can't give them the shit that they need to go through. Like, nah, you can't.
Yeah, but you gotta evolve though. You're supposed to be the one to take them to the next step, man. Not go through
right. That's all the effort, right? That's the effort, right? We gotta evolve. And trying to get them to evolve, you realize that they still gonna hit their head on the same things that you've been trying to stop them from, you know what I mean, stop them from doing anyway.
Some people don't even let them hit their head. They won't even let them hit their head.
In your relationship with your children, you're supposed to represent God. And God watches over his fucking flock.
You ain't, dog.
You let them go through whatever they want. They
can read the Old Testament.
I mean, they can go out the pasture, but
you better go read some of that Old Testament.
God, you got to reel that shit in. Like, fuck all that. My girls ain't going through shit. Like, there's no way. You gotta be absolutely perfect to protect them from that.
You gotta be perfect. You can't put them in a situation where you got a baby moms, right? You got baby moms. Anything can happen while they're on baby mama watch.
Right.
Anything.
That's very true.
That's right.
Yeah.
So outside of the married package, no, don't have no kids. Like that's the only real way to do it.
Well, like what happens if you have
only
kids
guaranteed.
while you're married?
Only
And
guaranteed.
you can't. Every single mother is not the same.
That's damn near impossible.
Every single mother ain't the same.
Hell no. It's different.
They still, look, man, even trying to, we're not talking about them, my guy. We're not talking.
But like, dude, you gotta. I'm not gonna. The more and more I shield my kids from experiencing things in life, is the more they get fucked over by it. They have to experience it. I can tell them every time, hey, don't do this, because if you do it, they're not listening. So I got two brothers. I got a 20-year-old and an 18-year-old. They're both in college, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as a man. Me trying to tell them, it's just like, yeah, whatever, Dad. Then they always come back. Yeah, you were right. You gotta go through shit.
Yeah,
but
that's just the personality.
Don't tell me later that I was right, because I'm telling you now that you're going to call me like, "Oh, Dad, you was right," and I'm hang up on you because I'm telling you right now.
Nah, it is a personality thing. You're right on that.
Let Dax speak.
It's about the personality.
Let Dax go.
No, I was taking what he said, but some people learn from experience and some people learn from feeling it, right? Yeah. And what other people might tell them. So it depends on the person, man.
Yeah,
it definitely depends.
It's crazy.
It depends on who
let bro go. No, he been trying to say something for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, look, I hear you, but like, so for like I said, man, I'm originally from Pittsburgh, but I live in Atlanta, and every time I have first world problems, with mine, right? They're like, oh well, she don't even care about like Black Lives Matter, and like she's having different kind of, like, she's like, why are they looting? Why are they busting out stores? Those people own those stores. Now they gotta, you know what I mean? So they're like, oh, well, send her back to where you're from. I'm like, that's a different kind of problem that I don't want to have to deal with. So, no, I'm not going to put it through the same environment.
Wait. What you trying to tell us?
Give me the question. I don't.
You said
some people ain't making out yet.
Wait, is that Lil Head?
You know who this is?
Hey, yo, shut the fuck up, man. You bad as hell. You ain't got no Lil Head no more.
You know who this is.
Hey, yo, I've been on here the whole time.
Look, you know who this is.
We've been on here for 1 hour and 7 minutes, Lil Head.
And you know who this is.
I ain't know that. No, fuck, I ain't been this close to the camera.
Look, well, now you know.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, exactly. You know who this
Shut
is.
the fuck up, God.
You know who this is.
Oh, my God.
So that's a different set of problems. I see you.
This podcast brought to you by Lil Wayne's Rum.
Hey, yeah.
Hey, they ain't give us no money yet. They ain't give us no bread yet.
Hey, yo. Hey,
give us no bread.
You know.
Last time I seen you, nigga.
Exactly.
Controversy.
Exactly.
Brought to you by.
And everybody here from Pittsburgh or something, y'all all know each other.
We basically family, bro.
We all went to the same school together. Junior high and high school. All three in the top row.
And college.
Hey man, if y'all
college, we all went to the same junior high school, and college.
If anybody ever comes to Virginia Beach,
that's crazy.
Virginia Beach, Hampton area, hit me up, man. I would love to keep with you brothers, man.
Niggas are sleeping on that Virginia Beach, that Virginia area.
Yo, little big bro just moved to Mexico about 2 hours north of Cancun, so
3 hours from Cancun.
3 hours from Cancun, so yeah. It's Mexico trip.
Oh, but I can't get my finger the right way. This is crazy.
You at the bottom, nigga.
Yeah, that's the bottom. Look, I keep pointing. Oh, there we go.
You logged out. You logged out. You at the bottom.
Him over.
Maybe he's high.
Me.
I'm definitely coming Virginia Beach, but I'm trying to go fuck with Dax. I don't know what y'all would. He got that. Where you at?
I'm next door to Kevin.
Right,
You are seen him.
Oh, I'm up there.
Down there at
Yeah,
the beach.
I'm
I'm
neighbor.
down there in a second. I'm pop up.
All right.
Knock right on the door, like, yo.
Hey, but on the low, man, I really appreciate being invited. I
Oh,
really
this is
enjoyed
great. This is
myself.
great, guys. I appreciate
Love
y'all.
talking to you guys. I ain't even lie. I let her run my mouth a whole lot, man.
I definitely appreciate you guys, man. We got to save some of the ammo for next week. You know what I'm saying? And keep bringing the heat. And I'm sure we'll have Lil Wayne's little bottles, you know what I mean, brought to you by. I mean, but we welcome that. If you know what I'm saying.
American Income Life.
Hey, to be honest though, I want like a protein shake endorsement. You know, some free gym gear.
Life policies on deck.
Brought to you by Run the Play.
She run the play.
These guys.
Hey, but
these guys right here.
Hey, if you want a new, I got a 5 top.
His name's Big Head.
Hey, send me the topics. We gonna get everything smacked. Hey, but this is definitely good content, yo. So we're getting off to a great start, and we can just keep this thing going, man.
You got
All right, fellas. All right, be safe.
All right, fellas, it was a pleasure.
All right.
Yo.
Guys. Peace out.
All right.
Salute.